welcome to another Moment of Harmony. I have a super special show today. An amazing, extraordinary giant in my life and the lives of many other individuals that is going to be joining Magnifying mini series. Let me see if I move this a little bit. What's the sound? We just have a little weird with the sound. Hold Let me see if I move. Does it change? Maybe that was it. I don't know. That's so strange. But we're here. So welcome to Magnifying Moments. We have been in a reflection series for a while, but we are counting down to my 100th episode of A Moment of Harmony. And in counting down, I have been interviewing some people that I know personally that I feel are amazing and extraordinary, have taken their moments and used them and magnified them. All the work that I'm always talking about, all the work I'm always talking about, people that I feel like have personally in their moments, made the best of them, and have become extraordinary in their lives because of being able to heal and grow and develop themselves. Of course, I wanted to close out with I wanted to save one of the best for last, because we are going to be reaching 100 episodes next Saturday. So I really wanted to be able to say, before I get into my surprise show, I just really wanted to make sure we go out with a bang with this mini series. So as you can see, and I'm sure everybody here knows who my guest is today, it is the incredible Imhotep. I see the leader and the head of the Pan African Liberation Movement, and I am again extremely honored to have him here today. Um, the so this is a whole full circle moment for me. So I'm going to try my best to be as professional as I possibly can. No tears, um, and no what is it? Try not to be a groupie. So, Bobby, you know me very well, and you know back when I was on HG. So if I start being all extra, tell me bring it in, okay? I'm gonna try my best to just be like regular, right? But I am extremely starstruck, and like I've never gotten nervous doing any of these interviews. I actually have enjoyed all of them. But I've been nervous to do yours. I don't know why. I feel so nervous to do your interview. I know why, but I'm just gonna be thrown out about it. So, but thank you again so very much for being here on this platform, and and thank you for coming to share, which I know is gonna be monumental. Sharing your story as it has changed many of us. Hearing your story, peace, Mama Yatali, it has changed many of our stories. To hear your story and to be a part of your legacy. So again, like I said, this is a super major full circle moment for me because you are, my Hollywood. You are one of the most fundamental parts of all of this, of who I am today. So it's extremely important to me. Peace, Mama Nunu. It's extremely important to me to have you on as I continue to grow and as I continue to become who I am in the world, on this platform, in life. That you're just like you right there in the process. So thank you again for that. I don't know. I still can hear that weird. That's so weird. So, but I will tell you this, Bob. I'm gonna give you a disclaimer. I don't know if you've watched any of the shows, but anytime I interview someone that is very important and I know it's gonna be dynamic, there's tons of glitches and issues throughout the whole show. So I'll give you that warning that I already see, and that I'm hearing it's breaking up. It's like if it's a regular interview, it goes smooth, no issues, no hiccups. But anytime I'm like super excited about one and some real damage is gonna get done, it starts going. So be prepared for all the craziness. So even the fact that we have this whole echo thing is like it's a ride. So, but again, thank you for coming on. So I want to quickly, before we get into your moments, Baba, I want to quickly go into a little bit of our history and why, and some in-depth information on why you're so important to this series for me and why I want you here today. So I want to go back to, and for all of those where we might be may not be seeing everything and we're hearing weird things. I'm so sorry. Just gonna keep thugging out and keep but like I said, so first met first met Bob, came in contact with his organization when I was 18 years old, right? Very, very young. That I hear something. You hear something blowing, Baba? Like a
Yes,
fan?
it's really bad. Yes.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy. All right. All right, be with us. So I was 18 years old, and I was in at an event of my mother's organization the very first time that I came in contact with you all. And I just can remember seeing the organization is very powerful. I saw y'all as very structured, very serious, and very impactful. And the power of the organization was like, was stuck with me. It stuck with me the most. And we would see each other at different events that my mother would throw via her over that course of time. It would be many years later. I think I was about 23. Because about 23, and I had been coming to the study class, and also a little bit before that, my little brother joined the youth organization. So my little brothers were a part of the youth organization, more insight into the organization, and just being around everyone more. So it would be some years later after being a part of the study class, coming to different events, that I would get to the point of like uh, immersing myself in the organization in a way that I would. So in my early 20s, which seems like forever ago now. Uh, oh, and happy Kwanzaa, happy birthday to Lovely. Today's her 15th, so that's how I know her. Happy 15th to Lovely. Habaragani, Baba. I'm remembering not to say Habaragani.
Nia.
Yes. So happy Kwanzaa, everybody. But so it was forever ago. But I joined into the organization. Now, what was most impactful to me? There's not one person in the organization that was not monumental, life changing for me. There's not one experience. I can't think of one person that yeah, every single individual that really was a member came through and supporting that, very impactful to all of my. But when it came to Baba, of course, being part of the organ, um, and like I always tell you this, Baba, you become a very, very much a staple in that people join, stay, grow, all things. It was no different for me. When I first met you, Baba, I can remember first off, having you take an interest in me, seeing things in myself. I was very, very young mother, single mother, wanting to do work, want to make a difference in the world, and not at all how it's gonna. So you definitely created this blueprint. As founder, those that have beautiful wife, our mama, also had a birthday to Mama Eva. But all of those founders that came in and made a difference. When I met you, though, it was like a taking an interest, uh, taking me in a very platonic, you know, being a woman, you're not in you, and it's not for any other motive. So it was one of the first times I ever my father, not being or grandfathers or things in that. The first time really taking under someone's wing, if you will, being under someone's tutelage, guidance, and it was not at all have anything to do with what I had to give, or be, or do. Which is when you didn't grow up with a father, that's a really brand new experience. It's kind of like you just want me to be great. Are you sure? So like super off. But that was what it was. You just wanted us to be great. You saw something in us, worked through us, you trained us. I always say to this day, I was trained so trained us to go out and be the that all of us are. And for me, again, it came with protection, it came with family, it came with uh, guidance, it came with just all the things that were very important when it came to any type of guidance. And I can remember feeling not only safe, um, really for the first time in that feeling, feeling a belonging for the first time, and also feeling like guided, really truly guided, and that I was in a where I trust that if I took heed, I was going to be everything that I wanted. And it's extremely monumental. Um, that whole so Baba Imhotep, you tell you back in the day, like all the time. I still today. I just feel like I never had the experience is unique all in its own, even today, and it's just like I never saw any come into people's lives in this way, be as transformed and be as loving and as consistent, and then, you give us those wings to go. So it's respect, honor to you and the organization. But I definitely want people to know, like this was my experience. This is what was my. I can't believe this even exists. And not only were you that way, but there were men around that you were facilitating development for that also were there, that were growing and learning and being in that way. So it definitely got me off the door. Of course, I found everything, like being on the radio, teaching, anything I've really ever wanted to do in my life in that arena to do that. So then your story outside of your story itself was for us because you came from single single um, coming up in kind of what would be not ideal to talk about just being rough or dating type of that street existence, that street and really behind bars, um, creating something of your own, creating something totally to the contrary of your experiences that would not only liberate you, but liberate us as people, and then liberate individuals and any of the people that would grab on. So I've always seen your story as one of those stories, and I know that you know it because you've been on a million, but one of those stories that's like there are no excuses and there is no reason for not making the best and becoming your best and creating the best from your reality. So all of that being said, again, I really, really want to be able to get into your moments and really want everyone to be able to get into the head of Baba Imhotep if you dare, if you dare to go to be able to hear like we all saw it. And like as story and legacy has been able to see that journey, using those moments, making those moments giant and grand. So the first moment I want to talk about, the defining moment, which would be the moment that you realize like this is who I am. And I kind of think I know what you're going to say, but we're going to see. But what you think was the defining moment for you in your journey, in your growth, in your transformation, becoming the giant you are? That defining moment. Now I know who I am.
Great question. First, I wanted to say I'm honored to be here with you on your show, on your platform. And yes, I have seen several of your shows. I even watched the one with you and Kyle. So I've seen yeah, I've seen the shows. Great work, great job. Much success going forward. Um, yes, I oftentimes think about how we met and when we met, how long ago that was. Um, and I always see myself as being someone who will always support the work that you do and support you as you move forward and continue to grow and evolve. Um, for me, to answer that question, my defining moment. So let me put a little backdrop to that,
Mm-hmm.
so it can be real clear to anyone. So uh, I stumbled into this information and this knowledge of self transformation and becoming Black and African in 1992, the end of 1992, the beginning of 1993. So that's when it all began for me. So as the information began to, I think, to take root and transform me, I felt the urge and the need to begin reaching out to other people and younger guys that was in prison because I was incarcerated at the time. And as a result of that, the administration responded to me, and they began to arrest me and place me on different forms of lockup, administrative lockup, things. They just sent me from one institution to another institution. So I got shipped out of ECI and I got sent into Hagerstown. And while in Hagerstown, I reassembled some more young guys and began to teach them the information, the knowledge. And once again, found myself in conflict with the administration. I end up in an altercation that landed me in Supermax, which is located in Baltimore City. So I got sent out of Hagerstown, I got sent into Supermax. I stayed in Supermax 2 years. And while I was in Supermax, I underwent extreme forms of oppression, abuse, and torture by the
Mm.
administration. I mean, extreme in the truest sense of the word.
Yeah.
Being stripped down naked, being consistently maced or exposed to nerve gas, being locked in a cell, you know what I'm saying, for days on without any shower, without any rec. And the administration, would laugh. They took pleasure in that. Receiving my food at times that had feces in it. The administration would put feces in the food, and it was torturous for 2 years.
Yeah.
Um, but I realized, I said that they are attempting to break me. So some kind of way I found a way not to be broken by them people, right?
That's it.
Then, eventually 2 years after that, I get sent into ECI, and it's 1996. I'm in ECI. Once again, I assembled some guys and began to really work hard at this go around now. So now PLM is coming up off the ground and we're doing it real hard in the institution. And that institution responded again, began to arrest me, placed on administrative lockup. So even though I have been on this little teeny path from 1992, 93 until 1997, to give or take a good 4 years, 4.5 years, I still wasn't really clear about everything. And so while I was on lockup in 1998 and ECI, I received a letter from my sister. Um, at the time, I didn't know she was in her process of transcending. I didn't know that because she didn't tell me that she was battling leukemia. So she
Wow.
didn't she didn't inform me that she was transitioning, but she sent me this letter. It was a beautiful letter. And it was something that she said in the letter. And one thing she said, the man that you are becoming is the man that I adore. She said, I will always prefer to see you in a cave amongst wise men rather in a palace amongst fools. She said, don't quit and don't give up. And it was then when I knew that it was me. I had to do what I had to do. It was that letter at that moment that I knew that I'm Imhotep. I can do this. I gotta do this. So I came off administered a lockup, worked even harder. They sent me into Hagerstown. And when I went into Hagerstown, I went to work all over again. I built something inside Hagerstown and I reached so many young men, young brothers who was clueless. And I was able to reach them because I stood in my power. I knew my power. I knew it was me. I knew it was nothing that they can do to me. They couldn't break me. They couldn't harm me. I knew that whatever they did to me on the outside did not impact the inside of me. So I never gave up. I continued to go. I went hard and went hard and went hard and went hard, develop curriculum, develop information, develop processes, and before you know it, we got a whole institution of young guys that's engaged in learning, retraining themselves, getting better, wanting to become men that's not fighting each other now, it's not killing each other anymore, it's not stabbing one another. And the institution didn't know what to do. And once again, they came and arrested me again and
Yeah.
locked me up. But this time it was different. Because when they locked me up, everything that I had already built continued to move. It
Wow.
continued to move, right? But it was these younger guys that was running. So what the administration did, they came and talked to me. And he asked me a question. He said, I need to know one thing. He said, are y'all organizing to bring us a move? I said, we're not even thinking about y'all. You know what I'm saying? I said, we're not thinking about you at all. I said, we doing what we need to do for us. I said, y'all not a factor. I said, I know y'all believe that. Y'all think y'all are on everyone's radar. I said, but y'all non-factors. I said, we're not thinking about you people right now. And this was he was a white lieutenant. He said this. He said that my intentions was to have you shipped out of the institution. He said, but I'm not. He said, because I realized that all of the guys that attend that service are much younger than you. And he said, I may have a harder time working with them rather than working with you. He said, some allow you to stay in this institution. So I stayed in Hagerstown for another 4 years, and we just grew exponentially. Just continued to do the work, and then so I stopped there. But that was, it was that letter from my sister that was that defining moment. It was her confirmation and affirmation of who I had became to help me see who I am.
I love that. I love that. And there's some parts of that story I never heard before. That's so cool because there's some of it I've definitely, know about some your experiences, but I did not. All of the sitting down with the lieutenant and wanting to have you leave, but that was okay. Look at that. That's why I love these. Okay. What about Baba? So we have mountain moments and we have valley moments. Where we like all on top of our game at the top of what our vision looks like, and then we have those moments where we have uncertainty. Might think that we on the road. We think we're doing something, and all of a sudden doubt and all of these things hit us. So, would you be able to share with us a valley moment, a moment where you felt like I thought I knew, I was moving forward, I had it all together, and now there's I'm doubting this. I back up on this.
Great question. Now the interesting part is that, and oftentimes when I share this with people, people can't grasp what I'm saying, but I don't lie about my story. I don't lie about who I am. I've never experienced any form of doubt along this path after being in that cell, receiving that letter from my sister.
I
See, up
say,
until that time period, I believed I knew what I thought I knew, but I didn't understand that these white people was going to respond to the way I was moving early on. I didn't have that knowledge yet that they would respond, and it was their response to what I thought I'm doing something good, but their response to that was kind of made me like, what was going on? And it was being on lockup when I received that letter in 1998 from my sister when she said what she said. And after that letter, I've never experienced doubt. No matter what I go through, no matter what happens, there is no doubt because I'm clear about exactly who I am and what I need to do, what I must be doing. Because since I've been walking this path, I've only seen success. But I'm going to be very clear. By success, I don't mean me. I've only seen other people get better. So
I,
why would I doubt anything? I've only seen there's not a person, if they honest, that can say they spent some time around me and didn't change. They would be totally lying. I don't care who they are. Even the people who might say, well, I don't like Bible, I'm upset with Bible, if they can't tell you that I ain't learned nothing from Bible, they would be telling a lie, right?
I,
So I've seen nothing but success by watching other people shine, grow, and transform. And that's what keeps me going. There's no way I can ever doubt what I'm doing when I see so many people getting better. There's no way. You know
I
what I'm
should.
saying? So I've not had no doubts at all, and I don't believe doubts will ever set in because, like I say, when I encounter people and we encounter on a good term, people get better. Whether we stay together for 6 months, 12 months, or 10 years, people get better. And if they honest, they will say, you know what? I got better by being around that man.
I agree. I agree, and I love that. I say, no doubt, no doubt, only work. Okay, it's bringing back all the nostalgia. Go get it. Okay, thank you, Barbara. What about your mountain moment where you felt like you were on top of your game? Everything that you're planning, everything that you're moving, everything that you're creating is exactly where you want it to be. Where's your apex? What is that mountain moment for you?
Are you meaning futuristically or a moment that I've already experienced?
Already experienced.
So interestingly, I've never, since I've been doing this work, I've never envisioned writing a book. But even though I always did a lot of writing and a lot of reading, but I never said I was gonna write a book. It was never in my trajectory. But when this was published in 2014, for me, that was my high point.
Wow.
That was my high point because I did something that I never envisioned that I would do. Not because I was afraid of doing it. It was just never in my mind to write a book because I felt like the work that I was doing and how I was doing the work, lecturing, educating people, organizing, writing literature, and just passing stuff out like that. That was sufficient for me because I was seeing results.
Yeah.
But the publication of this allowed a lot of that work that people who was close to me received. this allowed people in a distance away from me to also get a glimpse of it. So that the publication of that book there have been the high point, and I've published ever since then. You know what I'm saying? Ever since this book, I've just consistently published books.
I share. Okay, I'm with it. I love that. I love that. I think I I didn't know that that's what you were gonna say, and that's again why it's so important to have these types of platforms, because it's like you think you know, you think you got it all figured out to a degree, and it's like, but so much comes about when you actually have the exchange, and I think that that makes so much sense. So yes, thank you for sharing that with us. What about a missed moment, Baba? When they say hindsight is 2020. You definitely have some wisdom on us. And you know what I was thinking about the other day too, Baba? There's so much going on in life, and I know everybody has something going on in life, but very personally I can say there is so much going on. There's so much reflecting, especially moving into a brand new chapter, and with releasing so much, and just again been really focused on full circle, just bringing everything back around, making it all make sense. And one of the things that I thought about when I thought about you and the organization, and just that major chapter of my life, I thought about when I first met you. You were like 35 years old. And I could be off a year or two, but that's just my math, right? About that when I first met you. And I was thinking like how how we all saw you, how we are. And of course, you were even younger than that, because when you met me, that's not when the organization started. It's just when it started for me. But you were even younger doing that. But I was thinking back at that time frame about, me. I'm a month. I'll be a month away from 38. Where's the time going? Huh. But a month from 38. I was just looking like at myself, like coming in, seeing you as a teenager. I was literally, and you have many grown adults around you with that same story, whether they were 14 or 17 or 16, but really meeting you as a teenager, growing through my entire adolescence, has you at the at the head of it in so many ways. And it's just like thinking back to the way that we were seeing you, the expectations, and obviously, you were time enough for the standards, but the standards, the expectation frame, the thoughts around it. But now looking back to be like, I was 5 when he was. It just, it's like, it blows my mind to have that perspective and go back in time when I reflect with what I know about growing up. And of course, you're 50 now, and see how everything is today. But it's just like when I go back, it's like, wow, this we were like we were putting everything on your shoulders. Like we were really placing a big, big load of. But I'm thinking back to your own growth and your own development and your own becoming, and you know, just what that does about having gratitude, giving grace, and giving just all of that. So when I say home, I mean it, hindsight 2020 with you now. What would you do differently? What is something you think, or you think you would have wanted differently with those moments, or in the moments of your transformation?
So now that's a great question. What I would do differently, let me explain it this way, because I like to explain things with context, and my reason for that is because what my years of doing this work have shown me about our people. We'll take something and we won't apply it to the context.
Right.
So the context is this: me knowing in 1998, from that moment forward, exactly who I am and who I was then. I was very clear. And from 1998 up until the mid 2000s, when I started working with brothers and sisters out here, I had already seen a track record of nothing but success. So there was no reason for me to doubt the effectiveness of what I was doing. But what I didn't do, 2008, 2009, 2010, what I didn't do is I didn't always stand on my charge. And I didn't always stay under my charge because I was concerned with how younger people that was around me, who I knew, I overthought for people. Because I know people probably would misunderstand things, I try to compensate for that. And by trying to compensate, I didn't always act on things that I know in my gut that I should have acted on that would have had a better and a different result. And I didn't do that because I'm concerned with whether or not people going to think like, oh, he think he know it all. So I'm worrying about that, trying to protect people, and that got in my way of making better decisions. I won't do that again, and I don't do that again. I don't apologize for who I am and how the ancestors have moved me. I will never do that again. You know what I'm saying? But looking back, that's what I did. I did that for people. You know what I'm saying? But as a leader, you can't do that. And people got to be with you because they got to be able to look at you and see in you who you are. If the people around you can't look in you and see who you are, then they're the wrong people to be around you. A leader should never have to try to figure out, should never have to always try to, accommodate and don't do what's right, what's in their gut, because something else is moving them. That doesn't mean it doesn't mean that the other people around you are not equally great. But it's just saying that this particular lane right here, this is my lane. Simple as that. It's like this particular show that you're doing. I would never be able to do this show as good as you do this show. That's just not me. You know what I'm saying? But I'm okay with saying that though. It doesn't diminish me to say you want to outshine me and go on a show like this. I'm not diminished by that. I feel good to be able to say that. I feel good to be able to say, well, I got a person, a go-to person that's good in a particular area. I feel good to say that. I'm not diminished by that. So looking back, I know those are some of the things that I did back then. When I know, like you say, I've been doing this work since the 90s. So you talking about 93. You talking about in 2008, 2009. I'm almost 20 years in. Right? Almost 20 years in the game of doing this work, and I've done it under some of the harshest conditions. Right? So there's no reason why. But I had to deal with that. But looking back, so that's the missed moment. But going forward, I won't make those mistakes again. Y'all know exactly who I am and what I'm destined to do.
I share. And I think that's what, when we talk about reflecting, which is what a mirror moment is, it's about that. It's not necessarily about harsh criticism. It's not necessarily about regret and, having negative vibration around your reflection. It's really about, it's very scientific, which is like one of your favorite words, right? It's very scientific. You go back and you're looking at, how was this done? How can this be revamped? And how can I make this work for me? And so I think that's very powerful that you're able to go back and see, like, look, I shorted myself. I quieted myself. I lowered I went down to meet when I should have stayed where I was in order to raise. And I think that that's a beautiful revelation. I think that so many people can resonate with that type of resonation, but it really is about that, because again, you're an expert. You are an expert on the art and the abilities of liberation and the art of expounding Black people. And as much as I love and adore and give much respect to organizations all over the world that are for us, and especially in our city, right where we are, um, it's never been done. That the truth of the matter is, it's never been done like it was done, in that way, and it hasn't been redone in any time. So my thing is like, you have to be able to humble yourself at some point to that. You have to be able to humble yourself to someone being able to say, look, this is what I built. This is how I built it. If I could rebuild it, I would do it this way. If I could go back, I would have done it that way. And you have to have nothing but respect for that, because go and brush your shoulders off. You know what I'm saying, Bob? You did that. So but what about a was it miss moment? I'm talking about the mirror moment. What about a mirror moment, Baba? Moving into mirror moments. What about a mirror moment, a truly reflective moment in the way of a vital, more than reflection and going back, but more of the vital conversation you have with yourself? What do you feel like is the most vital conversation you had with yourself?
It's interesting because so the most vital conversation I had, it was actually two of them. The first one I made from hatred. It was made out of hatred, but I still hold on to it. So the first one was when
I still hold on to it.
yeah, so okay, so for those who really don't know, so I went to prison 1990. So I got locked up for me. It was me and six other individuals. So it was a crew of us, and we was charged for a series of jewelry store robberies in the 90s. The late 80s going into the 90s. All right. So we get arrested, we get caught, whatever, we get charged. So as the charges start to roll down, I noticed that on all the charges that I was charged with, you know, I was not at any of those robberies. I noticed that I was not there. I'm not saying that I wasn't part of this crew. I'm just saying that these particular ones that you said I took part in, I wasn't there.
Mhm.
So I really could have not went to prison. But the way that the judge, her name was Judge Booth, white lady, right? The way they set things up though is she gave us 117 years. And
Ooh.
like as a group, 117 years, and said, listen, this is going to be divided up. So they divided the 117 years, and I come out to deal with 20 years. Now, my 20 years was so another person who would have ended up in a very, very bad situation would have had more. So we kind of, as a group, we talked it all over. Um, I kind of agreed so other people can kind of make out for the most part. But I was still upset about that. I was extremely mad about that. So when I received the 20 years, what I said is I was talking to myself and I said that I said you got this is what I said. I was talking to myself. I said whatever I said when if and when you get out of the situation, I said you got to make this society pay because it's unjust, it's wrong, it's backwards. So you got to make it pay. And I agree. I said cool. That was my first conversation.
You and self, y'all adapted up.
That
Got
was at the very beginning. And then once I got into being incarcerated and start experiencing how vicious and demonic the system of these white people can be, probably about 6 years in, while I was in Supermax, I had a conversation with the ancestors. And I asked the ancestors, I said, if you get me through this, if you roll with me and get me through this right here, I am forever for us. All
wow.
right? Get me through it and forever for us. Because it was tough. Supermax was tough, man. I mean, it ain't just being incarcerated, it's hard. And
Yeah.
I witnessed some of the best men get broken in there. The best men get reduced to nothing.
Yeah.
And I did not want that to happen to me. So I
Mercy.
had, I had to call on some extra strength.
Yeah.
Get me through this here, and I'm forever for us. And I was able to get through it. Took me two years, but I got out. And I've been for us ever since. I only rock for us. See, I'm not one of those people. I don't say black and brown. You know what I'm saying? We the only people gotta say stuff like black. I don't say black and brown, right? I'm saying black. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna come on national TV or the internet and talk about well what's happening to the Palestinians and wrong. I'm not saying that because we dying in Baltimore.
We are
You know,
dying.
so I'm not going. So I'm only for us. I'm only for us. And I'm not gonna say, we say stuff like this right here. Um, to be for us doesn't mean that I'm against anybody else. I'm not even saying that. You know what I'm saying? Because however you take me being for me, that's your issue. That ain't my issue.
Your
You see
problem.
what I'm saying? It's simple as that. I'm only for us. And that was the commitment that I made to the ancestors. That's how I'm rolling. That's how I've been rolling. I only got energy for us. I only got love for us. I don't have intelligence for the whole world. I just got intelligence for us. I don't have black prowess for the whole world. I just got black prowess for us. Simple
Shay.
as that. I don't have black excellence for the whole world right now. I only got enough black excellence to give to us. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's no different than two parents. You know what I'm saying? One mother only got enough milk to feed her child.
Hey,
Simple as that. You know what I'm saying? That's just where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told them ancestors, and that's what I've been doing up until this day.
you have been chills. Y'all got chills on my show. Go there, Baba. It's the beast in the flesh. The beast is in the flesh. I think that's your next book, Baba. Forever for Us. You got that in you? Go ahead. Because that's the truth. I'm ready for it. I love it. I think that's a awesome conversation. The deals that we have with ourselves, the ultimatums, well, some of us, the ultimatum you give yourself. Either do this, but it's not getting done. I love it. I love that. Okay. What about a many moments, Baba? Many. When you were a child, a moment from your childhood. that you can recall or pull on that that helped you in this journey of where you are today, helped you in sustaining where you are and in your greatness? What is a moment from your childhood you can recall?
So that's a great question. It's interesting because I have an older brother that transitioned. My older brother, he transitioned probably about 12 years ago. My brother Mike,
Yeah.
but he's much older than me.
Hmm.
I'm his younger brother, and I have four brothers. Right, so it's six children altogether. It's I have a younger sister, then it's me, then it's four oldest, right? And I got an older brother. So I got two brothers, then an older sister, and an older brother. But my oldest brother, Mike, he used to always say something to me, always do this to me. This was like in the early 80s, 81, 82, because I'm like 11, 12 years old. He would always come and he would poke me in my chest. And I didn't like it. It irritated me. I would get all, go all over and call my mother, stepmother. He would always say this right here. He said, "You better get tough, boy." So you better get tough, boy. And he did that every single day. And that's his only message. His
Yeah.
only message to
That's a
me
great
is you
sign.
better get tough, boy. And you
Wow.
know what? And it's that resounding message that reoccurs in my mind to this very day.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And I don't even think he really realized what he did. You know what I'm saying? But he reaffirmed to me the necessity
Yeah.
to be able to endure things that irritate you. And that's why people say, well, Bob, I got no emotions. I got a ton of emotions, right?
Yeah.
But I've been prepared to deal with things that's uncomfortable.
Ashe.
That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? He prepared me in his own little way. That was what he gave me.
Hmm.
And that's why I call his name and I pour libation. Because he didn't give me great wisdom. He didn't give me great knowledge. That wasn't his gift. His gift was to prepare me. You know why? Because my biological father wasn't there. My mother's husband didn't do it. My mother's husband was still running. I'm watching him try to sneak around and cheat on my mother.
Yeah.
Right? He didn't do it. My other two brothers, they was doing their own thing. They was in that prime of their life. They trying to be out there. Right? My older sister couldn't do it. She would fight for me. It was
Ashe.
this dude, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't nowhere near his age. It was him. Like
Yeah.
every day, boy, you better get tough, boy. You said, you better get, and I caught on to him, right? He didn't say, I'm going to make you tough. He said, you better get tough.
You better.
You do it, right? You do it. And I did it. You know what I'm saying?
Awesome. Isn't that great? It's how life works and how it all comes back around and the impacts, and that's why focusing on our moments becomes so incredibly vital for our growth and development. Because if you're not looking into them the right way, you're going to miss so much in them. And if
Yeah.
you going into them with this preconceived notions of where you're going to get your wisdom, where you want to get your light, where you're going to get your moves, and you're going to miss everything. And it's just, and we're always thinking that what's going to make us is going to come out of this thing, out of this space, out of this energy, out of this something we made up in our mind. And the creator have already given a blueprint, have always set it in stone, and you just got to get in your moment. So I think that that is super awesome. And not only did your brother do that, so much love to Mike in the spiritual realm, but you did that to us. Was like 101 on our training. And I swear, Bob, I'm laughing at you, but life is real. Life gets so real. And there isn't, that's why I said, I'm going to get through this whole show with no tears, right? Because, I'm getting a little emotional in my older days, right? So tears come a little quicker than they used to. But I, there's not a moment that goes by when I don't think, like, what would Baba say? What would be his message? What would be the sitting around the meeting table and his critique or his thoughts on this situation? And it will be like, and it comes always back to me in that way, like, you better get it together. Take your clothes on your toes. What are you doing? So there's so many times when I'm just like, I hear it, like, he would never stand for this soft stuff. I ain't gonna use no French, but he would never stand for soft stuff. Like, get it together, figure it out. Hold up this. So it's so crazy how as a child before I was even born, many of us were even born, you're getting instilled with something that you're passing on to us. And definitely, even with my children, because they're becoming adults. Freedom is going to be 20 in March. They're becoming adults. And there's times when I'm breaking. They don't know. I'm breaking behind their experiences and they're becoming. But I got the face on like, you better toughen up. You better get what together. I don't know what to tell you. But it's coming now from what I felt like from love and preparedness. But it's just crazy because it's gonna keep moving. It's gonna keep moving. That so I think that phenomenal that was your moment as a child in your childhood, and then you pass that on to so many people that it's like, I know I stand for Bob if I Bob, they're in that space, chest up, get it together. It's no time. So I think that's your moment too. So thank you. Much thanks to him. He made a bunch of soldiers out of all of us. Okay. So what about made moments, Bob? I'm very interested. What about made moments? And for yourself, you've created so much. Like, when you transition into the ancestral realm, there's a song, Beyonce has a song it says, I was here and I was here. Meaning like, I was in this world, I left my print. People will know that and I think you are one of the most in my personal life, right? No, I love my and all of that, in my personal life, people that I know, don't think I know anybody that was more here. That I'm talking not only their own legacy, not only their own children, because I'm giant. Y'all listen to what I'm saying. Like Bobby said, people will take stuff out of context. I come from giant, but what I'm saying is that with your own bloodline, other bloodlines, people that you might never meet, like really in real life, you may never meet them, but I don't know anybody more here. And so my thing is like, and all the things that you have created, all the things that you facilitated, all the things that you worked, what would be your made moment? Like this is what I'm proud to have made. Like this is what I made. A lot of times, like I said, also continue things for other people. We carry on a legacy, like put in place, and I kept it moving, and I took the torch and I ran with it. But what is your creation? What's your made moment for you?
That's one of those profound, um, complex questions. It sounds real simple, but it's a really a complex question.
Yes.
Um, so I'm going to answer that question, but I'm going to link things to it.
Okay.
So I would say my made moment is developing the philosophy of urban philosophy. I would say that there.
Okay.
Because of that, it enabled me to do other things that impacted other people, right? And those other people have went on and do wonderful and are doing beautiful things. And because of that, it allowed me to meet, my wife, the way that I was able to meet my wife, and we produced the two children together that we had produced
I
together,
should.
right? So when it's all said and done, my only ask, my only strive is that I end up on the correct side of history.
Yeah.
That's it, right? Just to end up on the correct side of history. If I haven't done the right thing. So if my life is lived that way, and then those two boys are able to see this in real time, they will have no choice but to live in like manner.
I
And if they
should.
live in like manner, then what they would do in turn, when they bring children in the world, is they will make sure their children live in like manner. And at some point in time, in this particular direct bloodline, at some point, we begin to reproduce the type of giants, because I believe that as a people, in all our beauty and in all our greatness, I believe that we have fallen a lot of notches down. I
Yeah.
believe there's points in our history when we perform at a higher rate. And even though we are performing well today, but we have performed in a higher. I'll give an example real quick.
State.
If you look at the year 1800, from 1800 to 1900, the 100 years, there are multiple examples of black men and black women who were once enslaved within entitlement, and slavery, in chattel enslavement, who were not allowed to read nor write their entire life, but go on to escape and then become some of the most profound intellectual people in the century, right? You talk about Frederick Douglass,
Yeah.
18 years, he couldn't do nothing. But then
Yeah.
for the rest of his life, he this giant, right? You got Henry Brown, you know what I'm saying? Another one escaped become this giant, you know what I'm saying? You got like you Delaney, Garnett, you know, and I'm looking at us, right? And they was multi-talented.
Yeah.
There's not a single name that we can call from the 1800s that wasn't multi-talented.
Yeah.
And you look at us today, right? Look at
Sure.
us today. We all over the place. We all over the place, right?
Yeah.
And we all over the place in the areas that truly matter most,
Yeah.
psychologically,
Yeah.
emotionally, and spiritually, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And that really happened within the last, give or take, 60 years, right? The last 60 years, this society has been on this government, the white people in this government, their systems have been on a rampage to
Yeah.
really underdevelop Black people, right? And we're beginning to see what I call Black insanity at a high rate. Like we are literally insane. You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and the insanity is going undiagnosed because so many people exhibit the insane behaviors. Since so many people exhibit the insane behaviors, we're not deeming it to be insane. Another reason why is because we look at that insanity through the lens and through the framework that Europeans have given us, right? And we look at it that way, we see the insanity. So I'm saying all that to say, to get back to your questions, that we got to get to the place where we are producing children that's striving to function and operate at an extremely high level, a
Yeah.
high level, right? Not this mediocre crap that's going on that we always applaud and stuff like that. We can't applaud mediocrity. We can't applaud it. You know what I'm saying? Granted, it might be our son, might be my daughter. We can't applaud. I can't indirectly make you feel like what you just did is good enough. I can't
Wow.
make it that way. You know what I'm saying? No, you gotta be able to do better. And I gotta help you to understand. I gotta gradually, in a very unique way, finesse it to get you to get higher. So I think, like for me, is that thing is urban philosophy and everything that extends to it. Right? That's what I'm most proud of because I see it and I know what it's doing. I'm a child, you know what I'm saying? My 11-year-old son, he doing algebra, you know what I'm saying, at 11, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
I didn't even make it to high school. You know what I'm saying? But this boy he's doing algebra. You know what I'm saying? He's doing computer, know more about computers than me, right? My 7-year-old son, Mujasa, he know more about the brain than me, right? Because he's been able to devote his energy to learn about the brain. He can break the whole brain down. I can't break that down, but I'm happy. You know
Yeah.
why? Because he can only do that because somebody like me exists. That's why. You know what I'm
That's
saying? So I'm happy because I know that I'm connected to his genius. I'm connected to his genius. I know that I'm a part of his genius. I know that part of me and his mother is the foundation to his genius. And
yeah.
as long as he can acknowledge that and recognize that, and then he passed that on, then I can say that creating urban philosophy, that's my highest achievement. That's that's what I lead the world.
I love it. I love it, Baba. I love all of it. I agree. I highly, highly agree with what you've been able to produce. What about more moments, Baba? What is it that the community? I know you got something up your sleeve. What is it that we can do to support the organization, to support you? What's coming down the chain? What do a Moment of Harmony exchanges need to know to get in alignment with PLM, 48, and the whole movement?
You know, that's a great question, and it goes back to like I was saying earlier when I spoke about when I said I accommodated people by not going with my gut at times.
Hmm.
Not only did I do that with the organization, but I did that in the city of Baltimore. Um, I'm very clear about this work, and
Hmm.
I've been doing this work very long. And when you do something very long sincerely,
Yeah.
right? If you got your blood, your heart, your tears, and your sweat invested in it, you're able to look back. And
Yeah.
by me being able to look back at what I've done and understanding the history and all that, I see some of one of the things that we need, and I don't think it's going to happen in 2024 because it goes back to the Black insanity. You know, I've been working, I'm writing on that, you know, because this insanity is deep. But we need some type of functional and working togetherness, right? And
Mhm.
that was the reason behind doing race first, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
even though people misperceive that, rather than coming to me and asking me, what do you mean? We just formulate conclusions in our head and run with that. That's the insanity that I'm talking about. The
yeah,
inability, the inability to socialize, right? Because we social people, we communal people, the inability to pick the phone up, to text, to inbox, and just ask a question, right, is
yeah.
harming us as a people. The
It is.
inability to do that, right? The
Communicate.
inability to just check yourself and say, oh, maybe I'm misreading this. Let me check and see, right? The inability to do that is why we are so jacked up because we don't have relationships.
Yeah,
We
that's
don't
true.
have relationships. And we don't have relationships. We don't understand how important the relationship is. There is
Yeah,
not a single thing. Listen to this right here. There is not a single thing in the natural world that is not in relationship. The
yeah,
trees and the earth are in relationship. The sun, the moon, and the stars are in relationship. The rain and the earth are in relationship. Right? The animals are in relationship. The plant life are in relationship. So why the supreme being standing on this planet is not in relationship? The black man and the black woman. We the
I-
supreme being that's standing on earth. There's nothing more supreme than us that's standing on this planet. Nothing. Not the elephants, not the sharks, not the alligators. We can subdue them all.
yeah.
We may not be as strong as them physically, but we can subdue the alligator,
I
the crocodile.
share.
We can subdue the elephant. We can subdue the lion and the tiger. We are the supreme being standing on the planet. So
Yeah,
why we don't got enough intelligence to work together in some capacity?
yeah,
Right? That's the problem. That is the issue.
yeah.
That's
That
the
is.
issue. The inability just talk. Father, I heard you saying race first, but what you doing with that? What do you mean by that? This is what I mean. I'm saying race first because we need some type of term or an idea or concept that's going to bring us together. Right?
Yeah,
We organizing around the fact that we got the same enemy. That ain't working.
yeah,
That ain't working. Right?
yeah,
We're not organizing around the same ideology. That ain't working. But can we at least say that we black and we should be doing for us first? Can we
yeah,
at least say that? Can we at
yeah.
least agree to that? Right?
At least
Right?
agree.
And the reason why I said that, I'm gonna tell you why. Because I'm a student of history.
Hmm.
In every significant moment in the history of black people in this land, we move forward in progression when we prioritize us.
I
Every
share.
single time. Every single time. The 60s, we prioritized us black power. The Harlem Renaissance, we prioritized us black people. You know what I'm saying? Coming through the midst of enslavement, the black abolitionists, we prioritized us. Anytime we prioritize us, we advance. So what I'm saying is, let's try it again. We got a history of being successful when we prioritize us.
I
So I'm
share.
saying this first. I'm not saying I created the term. No, I'm not saying it. Marcus Garvey said the term, and Herbert Harrison said it. I'm both of them said it way before I said it. I'm not saying it. I'm not even worried about it. I'm just saying let's use us as the central thing around which we will organize. That's what I'm saying. We can
Yeah,
make this step out in the line. But let's put us in the center and organize around us. That's what I'm saying. So to your point, that's what needs to be done. And anybody who wants to support PLM, I was suggesting to you to see how you can be supportive of this team that's moving us forward. If Bobby is doing something working against black people, then push Bobby to the side. Keep on going. But if you can, but if Bobby got a history of working for us, and you can see in his history that he had success, right? And he had moved forward. He had been consistent. I believe one of the most consistent. And I'm gonna say that for my home. I believe one of the most consistent that know this work. The most consistent. Because since I started in 1993, I haven't stopped in 2023. That's 33 years.
yeah,
Stop. And I got a history saying, you know what? Not only that about this, doing something for the general black people, I got a direct history saying, I'm taking people specifically from one state of consciousness and moving them to another. Many
I,
people can't see that. I
I,
reach people that the world couldn't reach. I reach criminals. I reach murderers. I reach them all and
I,
transform them. You know what I'm saying? So why would you want to work with them? I say you got to set them up. I'm saying we can work together. Why? When I
yeah,
got a proven history, a proven record of being effective in helping us. Why not? Right? That's the insanity. Only
yeah,
black insanity convinced that's happening. Only black insanity. And I know more than once upon a time, I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I'm making today.
Yeah.
what I've done and how I've done it and who I've impacted. Right? So that's what we need to be doing. We got to figure out how to work together, man. And we don't got to be a part of the same organizations or none of that. But we got to be on the same page. We're taking shorts out here. When you got black people that's fighting over Christmas gifts and killing each other, when brothers are killing sisters, man, we're in a bad place.
We
And
in
it
a
don't
bad.
take a society to see that stuff, man. We've never done that in our history. Once upon now, we killing each other, we killing women, we killing children, we throwing babies out the window. We losing our minds.
Yeah, losing it.
Our minds.
Yeah.
We got to get together. And everybody always talking about, we need healing. No, we need more than healing. You know what I'm saying? If you just realizing that we need some healing, you're still late. We need a whole lot more than
You
healing.
still
We need to
late,
become
right?
whole.
Late to the
We need to
party.
become whole.
Yes. Yes.
And you can't get whole individually. You can't get whole in isolation. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that's talking about they spiritual and they so isolated and insulated from working in a group and working with people, it's nothing spiritual about them.
That's
Spirituality doesn't happen in a dark cave by yourself.
not the
Spirituality happens in relation to people.
relation with
Simple as
people.
that, man. Come on now. We got a lot of work to do, and we got to be willing to listen to those who have charted the way. That's not
That's
to say that's not to say that other people don't got any good ideas. It does, but we gotta be able to appreciate those who are demonstrating a track record of effectiveness.
yeah.
Come on, look. I got put all these books out, right?
Go ahead. You only got 2 hands.
You only got all these books that have been written. And they all about different things for the most part, right? But it's about us. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm not finished. I'm not finished putting these
Yeah.
books out.
Far from it. Far
I'm
from it.
not finished. Right? It's like, and that's not an easy thing to do. You know
No,
what I'm saying? So when people try to take a shot at our great elders and great people that's like, that's doing the work, it's not easy to write 25 books. Like
yeah.
Baba Baruti had 25 books out. People want to talk about Dr. W.B. Du Bois. It's not easy to do what Du Bois done. You know what I'm saying? No. Like we
Yeah.
got to be able to appreciate that. Some people can't even get through one book.
That's
You can't
it.
finish one book. And you got people that's writing 25 and 30 books. That's a commitment
It
of
is.
blood to a people, man. And we
Yeah.
can't raise our consciousness enough to appreciate that. We insane. The
Yeah.
insanity is real, and it's time for us to check the insanity, call that insanity out, and figure out how we're gonna get together. In 2024, Bobby Motep PLM, man, we're gonna continue to do the work. But like I say, we gotta lock up.
That's it.
Even if it's just lock up. Like I'll give an example, right? Like you was a part, you remember we PLM, we did Kwanzaa, 7 days of Kwanzaa,
Yeah.
10 years in a row. Right.
Unbelievable.
Right? And that's not an easy thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
So this year, TNAT is doing it. You know what I'm saying? You know, they doing 7 days of Kwanzaa, and they got different organizations coming in, which is great. Now, this is the thing, though, right? This should go down, though, right? That we should be communicating. So I'm saying, so we should be communicating. We should be trying to figure out. We got to be willing to at least have the conversation, right? With Race First, I reach out to everybody and I let them know, hey, you want to be a part of Race First? This, that, and other. I do that every year. Some people they give me different reasons why they don't want to be a part, which is cool, right? I'm okay with that, right? I'm okay with that. But they can never say that I haven't reached out to them. They can't
And
say
even with Kwanzaa, we were
yeah,
hosted every night by another organization. Mm-hmm.
that's right. You know what I'm saying? So we have to just work together.
We have
You
to
know,
work.
on some just on the things where as though we organize a little bit better, right? Because what the work that any single organization do in any particular city is good. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we can never knock the work, but we got more work to do than just that, right? It just can't be PLM doing some work in Baltimore or organization A, organization B just doing a little bit of work in Baltimore. Like our work has to be connected and has to link up so it can be truly impactful. Because what we're missing systems. Right?
Yeah.
For example, right? So that's the reason why you got these organizations nowadays that have to start these new organizations and things like we shouldn't have to always start a new organization, right? Because
Yeah.
we should have it so systematically laid out. Whereas though we just picking up where another organization. That's the reason why this oppression is so serious because they don't restart oppressing us.
Yeah.
They they just step into the system that they've already created. They
Yeah.
don't restart it, but we're always restarting liberation movements. and wonder why, you know what I'm saying, we literally are standing in the same space,
Yeah.
right? They don't restart it. You know what I'm saying? Like in 2024, they're not going to restart oppressing us. They're just going to add to the systems of oppression that's already in place.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get across to us. Like, where are the processes? Where are the institutions? Right? And it don't necessarily need to be brick and mortar, right? Where is the systematic process of how we're going to do this, that, and the other? That's
Yeah.
what has to be developed. And that requires some serious thinking people, not people who just try to do the work from their emotions.
Yeah.
We passed that stage. We need the serious minded thinking people. Case in point, that I'm gonna shut my mouth because the ancestors got me moving right now.
Good.
Um,
Keep going. Yeah.
so in the 1800s, right, you had Martin Delaney, you had Henry Highland Garnett, you had all these black men and women that was doing what we call immigration. They were saying we need to get out of America and get to Africa. But this is what they said though. They said we're not calling on just any Negro or black person. They say we need the best intelligent people to go back so this thing can be a success. We need the engineers, we
Yeah.
need the farmers, we need the mechanics, right? They understood that, but it
Yeah.
took them a minute to get there, right? It took them like 30 to 40 years to realize, like, man, to get this job done, we need the best thinking people on the ground, not
Yeah.
just anybody on the ground, right?
Gosh.
That's where we're at today. We need to be coming together in these conferences and figuring out who are our best and greatest thinkers in specific areas so we
Yeah.
can maximize the growth and development. Not just anybody because
I,
you're mad, you're upset. Because those people's quit. We need the best thinking people around us doing
yeah.
this work. And that's what I'm trying to do. In the year 2025, I'm calling for a national race first convention. I'm hoping that everybody show up and be a part of it. But you know how we is, you know what I'm saying? I'm hoping that we are, regardless of who show up, my plan is still to go forward with it.
There
But
you
you know
go.
how we are. I ain't going, man. Race is I ain't going, man. Race is a fake concept, you know what I'm saying? That don't mean anything, right? And listen, this is the argument. This is the argument. This is the foolishness again, right? This is what they're saying. And they say it all the time. They say race doesn't exist. Race is a social construct. Listen to the statement, right? Logically. You say race is. When you say race is, you're validating race.
There you
You
go.
But you're saying this is just a social construct. Okay. I'm not saying it's not a social construct. Right? So don't say race doesn't exist. Race is a social construct. That's a contradiction in terms.
Yeah.
But since we aren't doing any thinking, we're only parroting what we hear. We're not
Yeah.
thinking. We're
Yeah.
not really reading in depth, right? Like now, case in point. But you say race doesn't exist as a social construct, so I ain't willing with the race. But then you'll turn around and talk about male and female, right? Which are what? Social constructs. You'll talk about that, you know what I'm saying? You'll talk about, you'll even engage in a conversation about transgenderism. And you'll say that's a reality. You had that conversation when that's complete, you know what I'm saying, insanity. But yet, something as simple as race, you will say, well, I ain't doing right. Race don't exist, man. That's this, that, another, you know what I'm saying? Well, we wasn't enslaved because we were black. We was enslaved because it was economics and so on and so forth. Now, even in that argument, right, if you do the research, like I said, I'm a student in history. If you
Mhm.
do the research, if you read the diaries of those people who traveled with those Portuguese in the 1400s, you'll see what they thought about black people.
Yeah.
If these people had a negative view before the 17th century. So don't talk that bull crap
Yeah.
about that stuff. Don't
Yeah.
talk that stuff to me. Talk to somebody, you know what I'm saying, who just came off the doorsteps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been up the doorsteps in the streets around the corner, across the town, you know what I'm saying, for a very long time.
Yeah.
I don't say that, right? All I'm saying is we can use this melanin, whatever you want to call it what you want to call it. And
Call it.
use this stuff right here, and we can organize around that. That's what
I
I'm saying.
Ashe. Ashe. Ashe, Baba. Ashe, Baba. All right, so y'all heard it right out of his mouth. If we're gonna be in alignment, that's the mission, right? Alignment is the mission. That's the way that we're gonna push each other forward, move each other forward. That's what the Baba is saying. So, for everyone that is definitely going to be on fire, anyone who may have been living under a rock and have never heard you speak before, or have never seen you, will be like, "Who is this Baba?" Listen, we want to get in alignment. We want to go ahead and be on one journey with one another. Baba is saying, get it together, and bring it together. I 1000% agree with you, Baba. When I think about I always say, that I know that we are at one of the lowest points. Now a lot of people, what we're able to do, what we're able to buy, where we're able to go. A lot of people don't feel like that's the state that we're in. But I'm out here. I'm working with mothers that are getting ready to have babies. I'm working with families, and I'm saying we are so outside of the glamour, the propaganda that's being pushed in real life, in real time, away from screen. People are suffering. We are suffering more and more, and it's only getting worse. And I believe 1000% saying it is more unstable. We are more unstable than we have ever been. And there's a lot of people that hear that don't, think that it's negative or it's a pessimistic mind frame to be in. They want us to just keep like, we're not where we used to be. We're not where we used to be. Like you said, in the fabric of self, we are at a very low place. And coming together at some point is, what is it going to take? What is it going to take after such a long time, after pattern, literally a pattern that just repeats itself, that is flawless in destruction. It is flawless and it is undefeated. And what it is able to do, what is it going to take for us to get on same wavelength? And I believe that we are losing our minds, and we have lost our minds because we're losing each other and we've lost each other. So it is again with a full heart and with all the joy that I can conjure up that you have been here on this platform today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the platform. Thank you for your being the staple and the foundation that you've been in my life, and anybody that I'm even close with today has come from, like, I think everybody I know is on the same platform. So just really thank you, giving you, like they say, giving you your flowers. But for me and you, it's the RBG flag, right? Giving you your RBG flag while you're right here today, alive and in the flesh, and just really being able to say thank you. And I feel like I'll never stop saying you. Every now and then, I call and I just a thank you text, and I'm sure hundreds of people probably do that. But just really being able to say the full circle moment, my um Elijah Muhammad, my Wally Moon, my facilitator, the person that took the embryo, took it, formed it to be back on something that I'm creating, something that I'm using to find my way, and have you here today to sanction that and to share your love, light, and wisdom and your energy. Just so anything that I'm doing and anything that is it's just one of those. It's one of those life out of the world moments for me, and so that's why I always don't get up there and be a geek. Honestly, if you could interview Maya Angelou, if you could interview Frederick Douglass, if you could interview Harriet Tubman, that's my moment. That's how big this moment is for me. Not just seeing you and knowing you, which is a pleasure and a blessing. It's not just being able to say, "Oh no, that was my Wally Moore. He taught me," name drop, which is also, it's a plus. But outside of it is being in space with you, whether it is virtual like this, or physical space, where we can continue to share the work, share the vision, share the mission, the connection, and the bond. And I always tell you that the most important thing to me in life, period, is the connection with individuals. I don't care how we connected, right? You got low vibrational connection, everything between, and you have the high, whatever you got. I'm saying whatever, most important thing to me is how we connect, and that has always been what has pushed me. While it has been your wisdom, while it has been your information, while it has been your experience that trains me, what keeps me going is the connection. It's the spirit, it's the energy that I feel. It's the seed that was planted in me that continues to grow no matter. So my thing is just being able to say, like, wow, I thought a Moment of Harmony was a big deal, but I think it's officially a show. You know what I'm saying? It's that. And I really just am grateful, so very grateful for all that you are, all the moments you had to go through, and I know you've had some monstrous moments, all the moments you've had to go through to get you to this moment where you are today and who you are today. I'm grateful for all of that. And the moments that come from us. Anyone that touches this video, that it shows up on their feed, anyone that knows you personally that's here, because the chat is going off. I can't even keep up with it. I just know people love you and they cheer and forever loved by Imhotep. So, but my thing is for anyone that comes on and just continues to grow legs and growth, because you're going to spark something in somebody to do something I never got to go down. Someone's going to get sparked to move and to be and to inquire and to think and to go within themselves. I just am saying thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Paying homage, and just always and forever gratitude. And for sure, like I always told you, I'm going to be a really big deal when it comes to this life, when it comes to this mission, when it comes to our deliverance and our expansion. I'm never going to stop until and I know that when I get there and we're moving and doors and things open up, I know a big part of that push behind is the sit down, is the talk, is the instruction, is the patience, is the blueprint, is the guidance. So I'm just so very, very grateful to have you here today. And every leader and every what is it? Every leader, every Wally Mood that was born from you, your work that's going to continue greatness in this world. Definitely, and thank you. I love you so very much. In red, black, green, in and out. As long as I have breath in my body and even into the next realm, this work is going to be work that I do because I'm just so very grateful for you. Thank you again for being on the show. And any words before we get on out of here?
Yes, first, thank you. It's always an honor. And I've always told you this, I'm gonna say it again, because I believe you gotta say things. If you say things in silence, you can say things in private, say it in public. But I've always been, once you opened up, talking about years ago, and we were taught, I say things, I've always been a fan. I'm a fan of yours, so you're gonna be great. It's just, things may be a little tough at times, but sometimes we gotta work. What I realize is this: sometimes we are being used by the ancestors just to open something up for somebody else. And the selfish part of us may want things for ourselves, because sometimes my struggles might just be for somebody else.
Yeah.
And I've learned to accept that. So that's why even when I don't have all money and all that other stuff, a person never may see me walk around with my head down. Even when the world is collapsing on me financially, I never put my head down, because I'm of the mindset that maybe I am being utilized just to test the other person that's going to be the one for us. And as long as I'm thinking that way, it keeps me going. It keeps me going, right? And so I wanted to say that. And so for the people that's listening to us right now, as we have this dialogue, what I think is very important for them to know is that, like you say, we are of two different generations, but we have a connection. And we need to know that two generations can connect. And we have to be willing to that, because throughout this exchange, you've done nothing but paid homage to me. That's all you've done the entire time. Hopefully people see that rather than just listening to the sounds. Hope they're paying attention to the exchange, right? Because the lesson is always in the example. It's in the example, right? We learn best by what we see. Granted, we can hear a lot. That's why our ancestors dealt with the symbolic thought. So hopefully people are really paying attention to, like, look at how they are exchanging. You know what I'm saying? She's paying homage to him. He's saying, he is a fan of hers. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can do this better than me. Like, hope they pay attention to the exchange, because that's what's important. We have to change the dynamics, because we are missing the order. Like, we gotta put things back in order, black man and black woman. And when you put things in order, it's just what it is. And the order is, if a person come into your life and impacts you in such a way that you go up to become something great, you always should pay respect to that person. As long as that person is still doing what he or she initially done, you never assume the position that Oh yeah, you came to my life 20 years ago. Now I'm 40 years old, so now you and I, we equals, right? No, I'm never the equal of those who have paved the way for me. I'm never their equal.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I'm beneath them, but I'm never their equal. I never tell myself that I'm equal to Baba Barudi over to Shak. I'm nowhere near their equal,
Yeah.
right? It doesn't diminish me, but I'm not their equal, you know. And we gotta always, because that's an order that has been put in place. The universe operates off of order.
Yeah.
It's order. And when you break the order, violate the order, or transgress against the order, you are acting contrary to my acts.
Ashe.
And the reason why we are in so much trouble now as a people is because we are acting contrary to my act. We
Yeah.
are breaking the order. Put the order back in place.
Put the order back in.
Put the order back in place, right? Order is good for us. It allows us to be who we are. So that's my message to those that are listening. Put the order back in place. You know what I'm saying? If your mother got, you know, if you got a jet in your life and a while move, male or female, you know, whoever that piece of my person may be, put the order in place. Don't assume the position. I'm gonna teach you now. You know what I'm saying? When I'm talking to those elders, I'm quiet until they ask me questions.
Mm-hmm.
Reason being, because I don't know the next time I'm gonna talk to them. So I'm not gonna miss an opportunity to learn something because I'm trying to impress them by showing them I can teach them. So
Yeah.
I'm not gonna miss this opportunity because I want to show them that I know something. No, if that elder is truly an elder, he or she already know what you know because they're watching you. So
Yeah.
you have to take it. If they don't ask me nothing, I'm quiet. I'm sucking it all up. But I watch a lot of us, you know, the moment I'm talking to people, it can be people that I literally brought into the knowledge. We having a conversation, and before I can complete saying anything, they trying to teach me. And I'm sitting there like, wow, this is interesting. Like, dude, dude, do you know when I met you, you ain't know if you was black, white, or brown? And now you want to teach me. Just listen to me, right? I'm not saying that I know everything, but I'm saying this is a moment to listen because I
Yeah.
can guarantee you I am going to say more things that's correct than incorrect. So don't miss an opportunity because you
Yeah.
want to teach me. Don't teach me. Let me ask you what I need you to tell me. But listen when I talk, right?
Ashe.
Keep the order, black man and black woman. Don't break the order.
Don't break the order. Thank you so much, Baba. I needed everything today. I needed your energy. I needed to see your face. I need to hear your vibration, and you know, it was extremely healing and motivating. And I'm definitely ready to rock into a new chapter. So thank you so much. Seriously, truly, and deeply, thank you, everybody. Please join me back here on the Moment of Harmony next week, same day, same time, because it will be our 100th episode. And I do have some great surprises in store for those Moment of Harmony exchanges. Get in alignment, support the movement, support each other. That's what Bob is saying. Give each other great love. Don't ever miss an opportunity for healing, growing, and coming together. It's what we're here for. I love you, Baba. Love you forever and ever. One always. Thank you. And y'all have a blessed rest of your week. Keep celebrating Kwanzaa. Have a blessed rest of your week.
All right, peace.
Peace.